to The Big Picture. It's almost 9 a.m. on your Wednesday morning. I'm Bryn Caswell. Joining us today, Amy Steigerwald. Thank you for coming in.
Of course. Happy to hop in.
You've had a very busy morning.
I have.
What did you get into?
We've got into everything at the Ohio State Fair. Obviously, it's opening day for those that don't know. And so we were kind of bopping around the fair, checking out what's new. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and then some of our other headlines today. It's Big Ten Media Day in Chicago. Nicole Sheeran, Adam King, they are there. Adam was bringing us live hits this morning. They're going to be joining us within the next 20 minutes, along with Tyvis Powell, to talk about his own personal experience with Big Ten Media Day. We're also having the Dave Thomas Foundation come on. They're talking about a new list of adoption-friendly workplaces. And then we're also having Swaco come on, and they're talking about a new business program to try to get more businesses to recycle.
Yeah.
So let's start with the bigger story that we're following right now. This is out of Hebron. So there is a massive warehouse fire. We know this is at the gift shop warehouse for Harry and David, and they make a bunch of gift baskets. Are you familiar with those at all, Amy?
I am not familiar with this business, but I do know that it does employ a decent amount of people.
Yeah, and we have actually the West Jefferson Fire Chief, Jeff Trenish, trying to join us right now. Let's see if this will work. Hi, can you hear us, Jeff? Okay, doesn't sound like he can hear us. That's
Definitely
okay.
a developing situation. He's probably a little bit busy, which we can obviously imagine. But like we mentioned, a massive fire out there right now. We're told, thankfully, we're learning no one was hurt, which is good news. He may be joining us. Bryn's figuring
I'm
that
trying
out.
to call him right now. We'll see.
We might get luck with figuring out some more details here.
The fire,
yes.
it's like almost a 3-alarm fire. It's huge.
We did have some pictures sent in, and
Right.
there was a pretty big response to this.
We're told by the fire chief that they now have to break in through the roof, go in through the roof to try to put this fire out because it's just all in there and consumed.
Right. Obviously,
All
from above, it's going to have a little bit of a better picture of what's going on.
But imagine how much plastic and all food, those kind of things that are inside of this warehouse.
We should point out we do have someone heading out to this fire. Our meteorologist, Michael Behrens, he's on his way to fly that drone.
Yeah.
So that will kind of give us a little bit of a better picture of exactly what's going on. But again, it's just east of 79 there. Little bit north of 40, you can see kind of on the very far east side as you're getting a little closer to Buckeye Lake through that stretch. So,
and if the fire chief can join us later, we will phone him in, of course. But we know crews are out there, a lot of them, trying to battle these flames. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. All right, well, switching gears now, we're talking about the fair. Amy, again, you were out there all morning. You were with the pigs. You were with the chickens. You were eating food. How was it?
Food. Yeah, so we started out bright and early. And the thing is, sometimes when I get to those scenes or events early in the morning, they're very quiet. But in this case, it was very active this morning. Lots of folks there bright and early, really before the 5 a.m. hour, getting those animals ready. I got to see sheep. I got to see pigs and talk with people who are showing them. So we'll hear from them in a little bit. But also trying many of the new foods that are at the fair. We know that fair food is
the
like
best food.
Debatably the best part of the fair. And of course, there's the traditional corn dogs, lemonade. We love all of that. But there's actually this year a row, which is right by the Ag Center at the fairgrounds, to give you an idea, where they've got a bunch of non-traditional fair food. So one of the ones that I got to try was this Hawaiian barbecue stand. It was excellent. For a while, there were pieces of the meal that were made for me. I didn't even fully know what they were, but I was like, this is fantastic. So if you are the type of person that, maybe a corn dog or, something like that sounds a little heavy for you, but you want to...
Corn dogs are never heavy. That's a snack to me.
I agree. But maybe you want to expose yourself a little more.
Absolutely.
Try some non-traditional fair food. They do have that at the fair this year, which is super exciting.
That is really cool. So gates, we do know they opened at 7 a.m. for everyone to get their animals in, but the ribbon cutting for the opening ceremony is within the next hour.
Yeah, it starts at 10 o'clock, so that's when people will really start to flow in.
Yeah, parking is $10 today. And then entry in is $13.
And there's a lot of options, too, where you can, shuttle from different areas from Columbus State, I know.
Yeah, because parking can be a pain.
On the weekend, they do have an OSU option. So if you're check before you go, obviously, but they do have those uncertain days through certain stretches.
Right. And then the topic on everyone's mind is safety. We know there's going to be hundreds, thousands of people at the fairgrounds over the course of the next week. And we've been hearing the term team takeover this summer.
Right.
And, that got brought up again, if that's possibly, being planned to happen at one of the nights at Ohio State Fair. And so Lacey Crisp, she was at the presser yesterday with the Ohio State Highway Patrol. OSHP says they will have the largest concentration of troopers ever at the Ohio State Fair this year. They are not joking around.
I can attest. I saw them driving around this morning. Even at like 5 o'clock in the morning, I saw 2 or 3 cars that were throughout the fairgrounds. So.
I believe it. They want to keep everyone safe. And then the other rule this year is after 6 p.m., if you are 18 years old and younger, you must be accompanied by someone that's 21 years and older. So they really are going to be trying to enforce
doubling
that.
down. It's important to protect this event because so many people come down for it. You want to make it a good experience.
Yeah, and there's more besides food and the animals. I mean, there's concerts happening later in the evening, like comedians. I mean, just so many different like shows and entertainment aspects to the fair. It's really more than just a typical fair.
Just showing up.
I'm going to play this package by our new reporter Marsha Augustin, kind of about the safety.
Fights like this one back in June at the St. Catherine Fun Fest is why law enforcement has enhanced security at this year's Ohio State Fair. The goal is to crack down on large groups of people from gathering in areas and preventing fairgoers from getting into the grounds. Fair organizers say plan to see more law enforcement on the grounds.
We're not permitting crowds to gather in a way that prohibits traffic flow or inhibits fairgoer safety in any way.
Ohio State Fair Deputy Director of Operations Alicia Schultz says it's about safety and fun. So how do they plan to prevent these teen takeovers? State Highway Patrol Lieutenant Bryce Nyheiser.
That's kind of one of the things that we're going to focus on, just trying to make sure that there aren't these large groups that may need to just be broken up so that people have the ability to move throughout the fair.
The fair will also continue enforcing the fair's existing chaperone policy, which requires any child under 18 to be accompanied by a parent, guardian, or adult age 21 or older after 6 p.m.
Again, that was Marsha Augustin reporting. And on the phone with me right now, I have Chief Jack Trenish with the West Licking Fire District. Thank you for joining us today. Talk to us about this fire at this warehouse in Hebron right now. How are your crews doing?
They're doing well. There's a lot of them here. They've done a great job of containing the building inside the structure. We've heavy heat on the third floor, made for a slowed containment, but they're doing a nice job. No injuries reported. The building structurally seems to be intact. Just monitoring at the moment.
Were people working inside of the warehouse at the time of the fire?
Yes.
Okay. How many?
I don't know. Not a ton, as it was still pretty early in the morning, but I don't know for sure. I just know we have an all clear and everyone's accounted for.
Okay.
Are you able to speak to at all how many people this business employs? Any idea of how many people were planned to come to work today who now obviously can't?
I don't know how many are coming. There's a lot of people turned away, but it's a pretty big building, pretty big business, so not sure.
Yeah, and then when we're talking about what's inside of the warehouse, we know Harry and David is a gift shop company. They have wicker baskets, plastic wrap. What's inside of the warehouse? Is that contributing to, the heavy fire happening right now?
The fire load's always a piece of the puzzle, but we believe right now the biggest issue, the third floor is full of freezers and just a half an acre worth or so, and that just creates an issue with getting to where they believe the fire is at, between the freezers and the roof.
Okay, and are there other fire agencies there helping you right now?
Yeah, we have roughly 30 maybe.
30? Wow. Okay. Have you guys seen a fire this large in some time?
I'll say event. I don't know how big the fire itself actually was. Like I said, to look at the building, you don't see a whole lot. But as far as manpower and logistics, it's pretty big for what we've had in a while.
Any idea how long you guys will be out there for?
All day.
All day. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to share about this fire and what your crews are dealing with right now?
No, it's kind of a hurry up and wait. Just waiting for stuff to clear out and start mopping up some hot spots. But just a great response between two different counties to mitigate this incident.
Right, and everything's under control and everyone's accounted for, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, Chief, thank you so much. We appreciate you doing this quick phone call with us. Stay safe out there.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye.
Okay, obviously he's very busy right now.
We appreciate
we really
him making
appreciate
time.
him taking that phone call. Everyone's been accounted for, like he said. Not many people were inside of the warehouse at the time of the fire starting, and he specifically was talking about the third floor. Freezers on the third floor, which is really contributing to the flames and the intensity of that fire. And 30 crews, he said, out there right
and
now?
they're going to be out there all day. So this will be something we're watching throughout the day. And again, like we mentioned, we do have a drone operation team that is on the way.
That's going to get some good images of that. So again, thank you for doing that phoner with us. We appreciate it. Okay, well, coming up next, we are talking more about Big Ten Media Day. We have Tyvis Powell joining us. He's going to break it all down.
The 10 TV Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the news you need. 10 TV Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to the Big Picture. It's 9/11 on your Wednesday morning. We got Tyvis Powell in the building with us.
How you ladies doing today?
Good. How are you?
Isn't
Wonderful.
this fun having Amy for
It
once?
is. I was like, wow.
I
didn't know. I seen Collin wasn't in, so I said, I wonder who's going to fill in for Collin.
It's always
And
a
it's
relief.
you.
Amy today. Thank you so much. All right, well, we're talking about Big Ten Media Day. It's in Chicago.
Yeah.
It started yesterday, but today we're hearing from head coach Ryan Day and the other Buckeye players. What are you most excited about?
Well, obviously, they're not going to say too much because they're not going to. To me personally, there's a whole bunch of stuff that the SEC said. Obviously, Tony Petitti got up yesterday, and he again made the case why he wants 24 teams, and he made some good points to why he wants it to go to 24 teams. So I want to hear, I know they're going to ask Ryan Day about that. They're probably going to ask the players about that. I want to hear what their opinions on going to 24 teams is, but most importantly, the focus on is this year. You got a couple of positions that's up for questioning on the offensive side when it comes to the offensive line. Defensively, you lost a lot of players to the draft. How are things looking? How are things going? Just to see where the confidence is for this team, because obviously this is a team that the expectation is high every year. You're expected to win a national championship every year. And when you look at all the changes that's happened from a new offensive coordinator, players going to the NFL, 53 new players on your roster, how are y'all going to manage to get all that ready to go before week 1 against Ball State?
It's going to be here before we know it.
It's August this weekend, you guys.
I know.
I'm just saying that.
That was scary.
And it does, I think once August hits, people really start to get in like it's football
But
season.
it flies.
There's
Like
Halloween decorations out already.
football season makes the rest of the year just fly. Before you know it,
does.
Christmas will be here and you'll be celebrating the new year. So, yeah, it's a good time. It's a wonderful time of the year.
Yes, it is. Well, obviously, you have experience with Big Ten Media Day.
Yes.
What was the most nerve-wracking part for you, or were you excited? Kind of take us back to what that journey was like.
Well,
for
first
you.
of all, it's nothing to be nervous about. It's just a bunch of reporters asking questions.
Kind of like we're doing today.
Right. If you're good with the camera, like for me, I was looking for the camera.
Okay.
That's me. So when you're good with the camera and stuff like that, and you know how to. First of all, they do a great job of prepping you on questions that you're probably going to be asked. They'll let you know what's off limits, what you can't talk about, what you can talk about, and things like that. So you got a good idea. But most importantly, you got to be yourself. You got to go out there and show your personality. There's a reason why you were selected from, Ohio State to go represent them. So you just be yourself and be you and have fun with it. Because a lot of the times it can get overwhelming with all the questions and then answering the same questions over and over again. But if you have fun, make relationships with some of these reporters, because you never know. Once you're done, maybe you might want to go into media, and these guys might be able to help you out and help you with your career post-football. So it's about establishing great relationships and things like that. But most importantly, just have fun with it.
Okay.
Maybe you might end up on the Big Picture on 10 TV.
First, it might happen. You talk to Adam King and them and get a good relationship with 10 TV. You never know. You never know.
That's too funny. And then, obviously, we've just heard about the big Chase partnership.
Yes.
What is your reaction to that?
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people, and it's such a mixed feeling, because everybody's like, oh, the traditions of college football is leaving. The next thing that everybody's now talking about is, Well, if you're getting a brand deal put on the jerseys, that means the stadium at some point is going to be presented by Safelite or whoever it is. And people are really up in arms about that. But we live in today's world where you got to make money as a college now to get some of these recruits, and football is king. And, you're hearing stories about how you're missing out on recruits because people are overbidding Ohio State, and it's just a way to get it done. So I'm not mad at it. I think they did a really good job. It's not like the logo is the whole jersey or anything. It's a small Chase Bank logo that's right above, their thing over there, and it's fine. Like it's going to bring roughly $17 million. I don't know the exact number. Ross Bjork trying to keep it close to the vest, but it's being reported at $17 million a year. That's going to help with NIL. That's going to help the Buckeyes win championships. I'm here for it. And it's not blue. And the white jerseys one is not blue. It's black.
It's not blue or yellow.
Exactly. So there you go.
Everyone took a sigh of relief.
When that white jerseys came out, it was black. It's like, oh.
So who else are you really excited to hear from today?
Well, PJ Fleck is going. Dan Lanning is going. Dan Lanning is a guy that is a pretty fiery guy. I'm interested to see which Big Ten coach is willing to chirp back at the SEC, because I told y'all last week the SEC's media days is they basically making it seem like, yeah, we don't win the championship, but we still got the better conference, which is asinine to me. I've never heard that in my life, but that is the boat that they're floating on over there. So for me, I want to see which coach is not afraid of the SEC. Like, we the Big Ten. I will beat y'all. We'll come down there and beat y'all at any given time. I like that. I like the beef. I like it. It makes the games better.
Yeah.
So I want to see which coach is willing to do that. And I think Dan Lanning is a guy who would do that. I don't think Ryan Day would do nothing like that. Kirk Cignetti, whenever he talks, he's definitely going to do it.
Yeah.
Do you let's hypothetically, you're a player right now on Ohio State's team. What question are you preparing for?
Well, if I'm on defense, the question is going to be,
it's like, what am I playing?
Well, Tyvis, you guys on defense, last year you had Caleb Downs, you had Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles. All of these guys have went in the first round. How are you guys looking to replace that talent? Who are the guys that you're looking to step up, and who ultimately is going to be the leader on the defense? That'll be the question they'll get. And I would look at them straight in the face and I'd say, me. We got me.
Okay.
Have no fear. TP23 is here. That's what I would think. No, seriously, I would be like, I think that we do a really good job of developing guys at Ohio State. They do a really good job of getting these guys prepared. We got some of the best coaching staff in the country, and these guys are going to have us prepared. I've been to war with these guys. I spent this whole offseason working out with some of these guys. Coach Mick does a phenomenal job putting us in situations where adversity hits, and we have to find a way to stick together and get it done. It doesn't matter who's going to be out there on that field. They know that we're all counting on them, and we're all dependent on each other to get our jobs done. And as long as we have each other's back, we can make anything work.
Well, and that's
why. That's a good answer.
I know.
You were at the Woody yesterday talking to some of these players. Did you give them any tips?
Yeah, well, I did. So the Ohio State football is doing a mentorship program now. So they're bringing in all of the older Buckeye legends, and they're basically sponsoring or mentoring a freshman player this season. So it was good to be around those guys, to get to talk to them and just listen to how it's going. Obviously, we've been freshmen before, so we've all been where they are. So it was just nice to be able to give that advice. And I love the fact that they're trying to do, a bunch of events throughout the season where we get to do things with those players and stuff like that and be around them. And, I just think it's nice to be able to connect the alumni with the current players and stuff like that, because, we moniker brotherhood. That's like the thing that you're Ohio State brotherhood, and to actually live it in real life and see them putting it in real time is really special.
Mm-hmm. How do you think Julian Saint's going to do this year? I feel like there's a lot of good quarterbacks across the country.
Yeah, so I think that for him, when you look at just NFL draft and top quarterbacks going, for some odd reason they don't mention his name a lot. I think that's going to put a chip on his shoulder. Obviously, last year was his first year as a full-time starter. You tend to get better your second time around. You've seen all the looks that you're potentially going to see. You've dealt with some adversity. You're able to watch the tape this whole offseason and learn from it. So I think for him, it's about demonstrating that leadership, being more vocal, And then when he's under duress and pressure is getting to him, can he still find a way to make the plays happen? You go to the Indiana game or the Miami game, those were the two things that kind of got to him. And he has to use his legs, which we got to see in the spring game. He ended up scoring a touchdown. So he implements all that in his game. He'll be a bona fide top 10 pick in the draft.
All right. Well, Tyvis, thank you. We know you're not going anywhere.
No, I am not.
He's not going anywhere. Joining us next, we have Adam and Nicole. They are live from the Bean in Chicago. You don't want to miss it.
I'm Bryn traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, anywhere you watch.
Welcome back to The Big Picture. We have some very special guests joining us live from the Bean.
Look at that background.
Oh my gosh, it looks gorgeous. Nicole Sheeran, Adam King, thanks for joining us, guys.
What's up, guys?
I like that Tyvis stuck around for this segment. This is my second segment with Tyvis today. That's so exciting.
You know I couldn't miss you. Anytime I get a chance to talk to you and Nicole, I got to stick around and take advantage of that. How is it out there in Chicago?
Guys, it's my first time to Chicago, which is crazy. I am having the best time. I feel like a major tourist right now, the fact that we're standing outside of the Bean, but it's awesome. I love this city.
It was so interesting. We were out by Lake Michigan yesterday with kind of Big Ten Media Days hotel in the background, and she was just taking it all in. She's like, it's really windy here. I'm like, that's
windy city.
It all makes sense now, guys.
Yeah, it all comes together. So we're hearing from Ryan Day around 1:15 today. What do you think we're going to learn from that?
I mean, I think we're going to learn a lot. Tyvis hit on a couple points before we kind of hopped on, just in terms of there's 51 new faces on this roster for Ohio State. Julian Sayin entering his second year as a starter. Of course, you've got Arthur Smith as the new offensive coordinator. So there's a lot of new faces on this team and also some big-time gaps to fill. Tyvis touched on it. Caleb Downs, of course, on the defense, no longer with the Buckeyes. So there's a lot of shifts going on.
I'm also really excited, and I think this is so interesting. Big Ten Media Day allows for coaches to talk about things that they're probably never going to talk about again at a podium for the rest of the season, like the SEC, like the Protect College Sports Act, like what they think is the proper way to move forward in college athletics. And I think that's going to be so interesting to hear from Ryan Day, but also the other coaches. I know Buckeye fans don't necessarily tune in to hear from other Big Ten coaches, but this is where you get a lot of the talking points. Brett Bielema threw some shade at the SEC yesterday. That's the fun stuff that comes from Big Ten Media Day. But also, you get to know the Buckeyes because 1 week from tomorrow, fall camp kicks off, guys.
That's crazy. Tyvis was talking about that shade earlier. That's what you really want.
I want the shade. Listen, when you win the national championship 3 years in a row after watching the SEC do it for like 15 years, yes, flex your muscles. Talk to them. Let them know that you are the new king because they just don't understand it and they're in shambles trying to figure it out.
Well, I think the fair point is that Tyvis can say that because nobody showed the SEC more than Tyvis back in 2014 when they took down Alabama. So he could talk all the smack he wants.
Why do you guys gotta rub it in my face?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
I'm so sorry, Bryn. Oh,
yeah, and you're a UGA grad, Nicole.
I know, but Bryn, listen, working in Columbus for over 2 years now, I just put it behind me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
You gotta
put it in my heart's half scarlet, half crimson. Like what I did there.
You should get that looked at. That's concerning. A doctor's going to tell you that's not normal.
Was there anything that you guys took away from Tony Petitti speaking yesterday that stood out to you?
I mean, there were a couple things that really stood out to me. One, when he was asked about, is the SEC the better conference? He said, I'm not going to get into all that, but what I will say is the Big Ten has a tough schedule. You're traveling across the country to play teams like USC, UCLA. These teams are prepared to play in the college football playoffs, and I thought that was a great point. I mean, he also touched on the fact that he wants to keep the SEC and the Big Ten and those rivalries intact. Great example, Ohio State, Texas. It's great for the fan base. It's great for the sport. And he made it very clear that it's very important to keep it that way.
I thought it was also interesting to hear him talk about the SEC breaking away. That was a big topic from SEC Media Days. He said that maybe Greg Sankey was taken out of context a little bit. He said he had some conversations with the commissioner of the SEC, and that wasn't necessarily what he meant. He said everybody's going to play everybody one way or another. So that is kind of quelling fans' worries that somehow this is all going to fall apart here in the next couple years. They're in this together. The Big Ten needs the SEC. The SEC needs the Big Ten. The Big 12 needs the ACC, and the Pac-12, well, they're doing okay.
Yeah.
How close is the bean to where all of this is taking place?
Just right over.
Being, like, you do it. You're the
Yeah,
local. I'm not.
I'm not a local, but
Nicole's like, let me give you a tour of my city.
It's over here. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, but right over there is the hotel that we're headed to right after this.
Okay,
Oh
so we
gosh.
can see it all in the distance.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is great.
All right, bye guys.
We're going to bring a lot of souvenirs back from Nicole.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes. All right, thank you.
See y'all later.
Oh my gosh, they're too funny. They're too funny. Oh my gosh. Well, it will be good today to hear what everyone has to say, that's for sure.
This is kind of like the unofficial, I feel like, mental kickoff to football
Right.
season
Yeah.
for all of us here. Am I wrong?
Yeah, this part pretty much because always I think the Big Ten is always last to go. So like once they get done, it's like all right, it's kick it in
time.
gear.
Mhm.
Obviously, you know Adam King hit on it next week. Today, no. Is
1
it-
week from
Is it
Friday?
Thursday? Yeah, no, I think it's
Did he say?
Thursday. It might be where they had a first practice because I'll actually be out there. So yeah, it is here. It is here.
Do you want to coach?
Do I want to coach? You know, I always had a. You know what? Listen. Put the camera on me.
I got it,
Put the
I got
camera
it.
on me. So
Got your lower third too.
I always thought that I would want to go into coaching, right? And when I got done, I still wanted to go into coaching. But this is what I learned. These kids today don't listen like they used to, you know. they not like me, you know. They think they got the answer. And then the thing I realize is that as a coach, because I've done this, you will tell a player something. You will tell them this is about to happen. You will go over it in the film room. When you see this look, this is the play. You'll get to game day. And you'll look at the player and say, oh, he's ready for this. I've put him perfect. I got him coached up. He's ready for this moment. And he don't make the play. I can't handle it.
You can't?
I can't handle
It's a
it
long way to say
because
no.
I'm going to tell you why. Because they're going to look at me and they're going to say, why didn't you have him ready to go? Why didn't you have him coached up to make this play? And I'll be like,
Not my problem.
so I can't handle it.
Awesome. Tyvis, thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all
for
so
an
much.
extended
I'll see
period
y'all
of time.
Friday.
Alrighty, we'll see you. We'll be right back.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. My goal is simple: help you feel informed and connected. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
All right, welcome back to The Big Picture. It's 9:31 on your Wednesday morning. I'm Bryn Caswell with Amy Steigerwald. Again,
Yes.
thank you for filling in, Amy. We
Of
appreciate
course.
it.
Happy to be here.
Okay, so today we're talking about adoption and working in a workplace that is familiar and, you know, allows that to happen and encourages it. My two cousins, they are adopted, and it was the greatest gift to my aunt and uncle. And adoption is so important.
Yeah, I do also have cousins that are adopted.
You do? Oh my
and so
gosh.
it's you're right. You know, it's a process that many people, not everyone can relate to.
Right.
So having, you know, coworkers, I imagine,
Mm-hmm.
who have been through a similar experience is probably very supportive. And
Really,
of
really
course
helpful.
a workplace that does too.
Yeah, because it entails a lot. It's a long process, and having kind of that support system, I think, is really important. But joining us right now, we have the president and CEO of the Dave Thomas Foundation, Rita L. Soren. Thank you so much for joining us today, Rita.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, so take us to the beginning. When did the story for the Dave Thomas Foundation start?
Well, it started officially, the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption started in 1992, but it was really an idea of Dave Thomas even before that. I think everyone in the Central Ohio area probably knows the Dave Thomas story, but if not, he was adopted. He created two great legacies, the Wendy's Company and, of course, the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, but really began this foundation to focus exclusively on children in foster care who have been abused or neglected and whose parental rights have been permanently terminated, and now they're simply sitting in foster care waiting for a home.
And we now know in 2025, the foundation celebrated finding permanent families for more than 15,000 children in foster care across the U.S.
That's amazing.
What is your reaction to that number?
Oh my gosh. First of all, we're thrilled with that number, and it grows every day based on the work that we do across the United States and Canada. But today, there are more than 100,000 children sitting in U.S. foster care simply waiting to be adopted. So we've got a ways to go. We celebrate what we can accomplish, but we drive forward to do more.
And so, talk a little bit about the adoption-friendly workplace, what it entails, different things that you guys do to kind of make that more friendly.
Of course. And again, this was a legacy effort of Dave Thomas when he was still at the Wendy's company as CEO and began to think about the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, but hadn't started it yet. He also was looking at how could he, with the celebrity that he had, the national celebrity, and with the foundation and platform that he had from Wendy's, how could he begin to encourage people to support adoption, all forms of adoption, but certainly foster care adoption? And he began to realize that, wait, if a business like Wendy's company provides benefits to families that are formed through birth, and of course it's a medical issue and healthcare usually covers that, and there's leave time, do companies offer benefits, paid leave, financial assistance to families that are formed through adoption? So he began to call companies that he knew and CEOs that he knew and encourage them to put in place adoption benefits to support families who adopt. And it started more than 30 years ago, and the foundation has taken that on as a signature effort. And we've created the 100 best adoption friendly workplace list to celebrate those companies, nonprofit, for-profit, governmental, large or small, that provide benefits to families who adopt.
Specifically, I guess, talk about what type of benefits, paid leave, that type of, what's included in that package for a company to make the list.
Exactly. And we use an independent research firm. What we ask is people register on our davethomasfoundation.org/AFW. They can register and fill out a survey for the benefits that they provide. And that research firm really figures out an algorithm and looks at all the companies that participate in the survey and score them based on they give a 45% score based on financial reimbursement, a 45% score based on paid leave totals, and then 10% based on the percentage of employees eligible for the benefit. We want as many employees as possible, hopefully all employees that are eligible for this benefit. So once they figure those out, then that determines the 100 best adoption-friendly workplace list.
And Amy and I were talking, we have cousins that were adopted. Talk to us about how important it is to foster that support system within the workplace when it comes to adoption and that process, because we know it can be very, very long and stressful for some families.
It is, and it's critical to support all working families, certainly. But we simply want families who choose to grow through adoption have the same parity that families who grow through biological births, for example. No matter how you bring your child into your family, there's need for bonding time. There are expenses, and the expenses for adoption, whether it's international adoption or private infant adoption or foster care adoption, there are expenses that are different than the healthcare expenses of birth. So it really develops, I think, a business culture that not only is family forward, but it gives a sense of parity and equity to all employees.
I guess if someone's watching and they have their own business or they're, instrumental in making those changes, what can they do to get on that list to be more adoption friendly?
Two things to do if they're starting from scratch. If they again go to davethomasfoundation.org/AFW, there's a toolkit that they can download that has sample benefits, has information on how to begin this process, what to look for in your business. And then once they do have benefits, please, go on that same site. There's a button that says register for the survey. Press that button. In January, they'll get a reminder that it's time to fill out that survey, and they've got until April to do it. And then we announce the winners in June. And it's not just the 100 that make the list, because not everybody can provide perhaps as robust a benefit as someone like NVIDIA or Ferring Pharmaceuticals, who are two of the top winners on the list. But they can be certified as adoption friendly if they offer at least 6 weeks of paid leave or $5,000 in financial reimbursement. It's also critical for us that companies consider supporting families who provide foster care. And we want them to give at least 2 weeks of paid leave to become certified as foster friendly.
And is your ultimate goal to just keep growing this list and adding more workplaces?
Absolutely. We think every workplace, whether large or small, can make an effort, whether it's a paid leave, whether it's financial assistance. every business can provide some support to families that adopt, again, so that there's that sense of parity and that businesses are known to support all families in their path toward parenthood.
All right. Rita, thank you so much for joining us today and having this conversation with us.
Of course, it was my pleasure. Thank you.
All right. That was a great conversation.
Yeah, definitely
Those
important.
families need
Kinda
support too. Absolutely. All right. Well, we're talking about how to get your business to recycle coming up.
We're talking about other ways to improve your business.
Not every weather impact day is dangerous, but plenty are inconvenient. That's where our weather impact team comes in with the details that matter the most. Live, local, whenever you need it. No waiting, no guesswork. Stay in the know and be prepared with 10 TV.
Welcome back to The Big Picture. It's 9:40 on your Wednesday. I keep thinking it's Thursday, but it's Wednesday.
We've been calling it Thursday all
Yes,
morning,
we
just so
have.
you guys know.
Well, joining us right now, we have Hannah Greer-Brown with the Solid Waste Authority of Central Ohio. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you both for the invite to be here.
Absolutely. Well, we're kind of in the theme today of improving businesses,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And we're talking about the initiative that you guys have launched to help more local businesses to get involved with recycling. Talk to us about the initiatives you
Sure.
have in place with this.
Yeah, thank you for that question. So for your viewers who may not be familiar with SWACO, we own and operate the municipal solid waste landfill here in Central Ohio. And so we have a really good pulse on what's being thrown away and where that material is coming from. And what we evaluate is how much is coming from local businesses. And people might be surprised to know that the majority of material coming to the landfill is coming from a local business. And so obviously Central Ohio's commercial sector is an important partner in our strategy to reduce the reliance on the landfill and to increase recycling. And so we did just recently kind of reignite our investments in our business recycling and food waste champions program. That is a program that's open to any commercial sector business here in Central Ohio, and we will come in and really help make it easy for a business to start or expand a recycling or food scrap composting program that they might have in place.
And you were talking about, before the break, we were talking about some of the common things that you guys not just see thrown away, but see places in need of that could be recycled. What are some of those top items?
Yeah. So something that's kind of surprising about the material that's thrown away is 76% of it actually could have been reused, recycled, or composted. And so there are a lot of opportunities to divert that material from the landfill. And when we look at what makes up that 76%, it's a lot of food scraps and a lot of cardboard. And so those are kind of two of the highest priority areas that we're focused on, helping businesses capture that material and keeping it moving through a circular economy.
Okay. And so what other incentives are there for businesses to get involved with this?
Yeah. So if a business in Central Ohio wants to either start or expand a recycling or a composting program, they can reach out to SWACO. Simply email us at biz@swaco.org, and we can help them audit their waste stream. We'll help them create signage for their new program. We'll also reimburse them the cost of the hauling of that material away from their business. And so really, if there's a business in Central Ohio who's interested in doing anything around sustainability, we'd encourage them to reach out to us. If we don't have a program, we probably know somebody that has a program, like the Ohio EPA's Market Development Grant Program, that we can get them connected with.
Yeah, talk to us more about that EPA program. What is that?
Yeah, so obviously I don't work for the EPA, but I'll do my best to kind of explain a little bit about what their grant program is. So it's an annual grant program that they open up to Central Ohio businesses who can apply for up to $200,000 in grant funding to help with recycling programs. So we're talking about maybe the purchase of a baler for cardboard. We talked about how important it is to divert cardboard from the recycling stream. Or other things, construction and demolition debris. So they've got a whole list of eligible projects on their website, which is recycleohio.gov. And that application period opens in September, closes in December. And one of the ways that SWACO can be helpful is that for a business going through that process, they need a public sector sponsor in order to apply for the grant funding. And so that's where SWACO comes in. We are available and able to help sponsor those projects. So again, if you want to go through that process, reach out to SWACO. We'd be happy to talk you through it and see if it's a good fit for our project.
I've seen, when I first moved to Columbus, I heard about you guys, and I feel like you guys have really been growing over the past even like 2 years.
Okay.
What differences have you seen with businesses that are coming to you saying, hey, we want to get involved in this, that wouldn't have necessarily done so maybe 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah. Well, that's a great point because this program is relatively new. We've really kind of reignited it just a couple of years ago and really are taking a more proactive approach to reaching out to those businesses because they are a really important partner in our strategic goals to extend the life of the landfill by increasing recycling. And so we've had so many businesses reach out to us, everything from small mom and pop shops to big, even big recyclers or big, Fortune 100 companies in Central Ohio who need recycled content to make their products. So we kind of work with everybody. We're happy to meet you where you're at. Like I said, this program is an option for companies that either have no recycling program and want to start one, or they have one and want to grow it. So,
do you find that companies that maybe didn't have one before, financial reasons were a barrier to them?
Yeah, I think so. And I think our program certainly helps remove that barrier because we're willing to pay for that hauling of those recyclables or food scraps away from a business. So, yeah, I think sometimes the economics of it can be challenging for a business.
And just for context, when we're talking about all this recyclable material, what is the problem with that going into the landfill instead of being recycled?
Yeah. So it's not so much that it's a problem for the landfill, but when we throw away these materials, we're throwing out value. So if you think about what it takes to create a product, we're extracting natural resources from the environment. And then when we don't recycle them, we can contribute to pollution, or if they get littered, they're in our waterways. And so there are those environmental kind of impacts if we don't keep them moving through a circular economy. The other thing that's interesting is it's not just environmental. We lose out on the economic benefits of recycling if we simply just landfill these materials. There are hundreds of businesses in Central Ohio that want our cardboard, that want our plastic bottles because they use that material to make their products that they sell. So anytime we can recycle something at the curb, it goes on to a business here mostly in the Midwest, if not in Ohio, where it becomes a new product and helps those businesses really achieve their business mission.
Right. And I know we talk a lot about lithium-ion batteries. We had someone on the other day talking about that. Do you think there's going to be a way that that's eventually streamlined in recycling?
They're such a tricky item because they're so hazardous. And so it really is important to keep them out of your recycling, keep them out of your trash. SWACO has a number of facilities where you can bring those and drop them off free of charge. So, I don't know. I guess we're always optimistic that we'll be able to recycle more things down the road. But I think, the lithium-ion battery issue is challenging. So,
yeah.
And we know that Central Ohio is growing. There's so many more businesses. I mean, we say it all the time here. So many more businesses coming. So just making sure that they have access to these types of resources. I think it's important just for our growth in general.
100%. I'm I told you, my dad's a local business owner and goes through a lot of cardboard.
Yeah. I got to get him on.
Is he a part of this? I'm going to give him a call.
Certainly have
for the program. Don't tell him.
Well, Hannah, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. All right, to wrap up the show, we're going to have Justin Gertz and Brianna joining us. We are continuing our fair coverage because in the next 10 minutes is the grand opening ceremony. We'll be right back.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to speak up, or lend a hand. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Welcome back. We have more friends with us. Brianna Albazu, Justin Gertz. Thanks for coming on, you guys.
Yeah, happy to be here.
And of course, Amy Steigerwald here. We're continuing our fair coverage because the grand opening ceremony is
TikTok.
in
It's coming.
7
8
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be a zoo down there. It's going to be a lot of fun. But the weather's shaping up, Justin, right?
Oh, absolutely. Probably the best opening day weather we've had since about 2019. Looking
wow.
back at some of our past opening day conditions. Last year before, it was like 88 for a high. So
it was
this
toasty, I remember. I was there.
That's normal
No,
fair
but that
weather,
is
I feel
normal
like.
July.
This is abnormal to me.
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah, so aiming for about 81 for a high this afternoon. A lot of sunshine, so those who are going, sunscreen, 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 sunscreen. I know there's plenty of places you can duck inside or get some shade, but if you're going to be out there for a little while, make sure you have on that sunscreen. But yeah, it's going to be a nice day. A lot of sunshine, about 81. There'll be a bit of a breeze this afternoon from time to time, and the mugginess is in check. So yeah, for an opening day at the end of July,
kind of perfect.
Can't beat it.
I mean, and they're debuting so much there. It's like all their
It's
renovations.
also their America 250.
Right.
Like they've all got their shirts on throughout the fair today.
Nice.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and they need good weather for it. But let's talk about parking, traffic. Girl, where do you want to begin?
I know. I was going to say, hopefully they can enjoy that sunshine, like in the car, because they can definitely expect some traffic out there. Maybe not as bad, obviously, opening day, but 71 over by 17th Avenue, exit 111 is definitely the way to go. But other options, including Summit Street, as well as North 4th Street, that's coming in from the south side, are also really good options there. But got to talk about parking, because honestly, to get the best option for you, just avoiding that 17th Avenue area, Ohio Expo Center, go to Columbus State Community College. That's just downtown. As you can see, it's on East Long Street. So from 71, just get off at Spring Street. No payment required. They have free shuttles available that run obviously every 15 to 20 minutes out there. You can also park at OSU, which is also a really cool option there. It's only on Saturdays though. So we're talking August 1st, and I believe it's August 8th. So make sure you just head over there and just have a good time. Be patient. We know traffic's going to be bad. Just expect all of it.
Yeah, pack the patience, right? That's what you always say.
Yes.
I'm always like, pack the patience,
Yes.
Bryn, calm down. We're all going to get to the same place safely. So, Amy, you were out there this morning. The food, that's a big topic.
I'm gonna duck down real quick.
Okay, she's going to grab something. So, I'm most excited to try the deviled egg flight.
I don't have that.
Wacky, and that sounds fun. All right, what did you bring
so
us?
I went to, we were talking about traditional fair food. We do, I don't know, everyone, help me out. Corn dogs, lemonade.
Or the deep fried
funnel
anything.
cakes.
The funnel cakes, So you can get all of that, obviously. But they also have a line of spots where you can kind of get non-traditional, very specific and, out of the box food at the fair. One of which I tried this morning. It was a Hawaiian barbecue place.
Which is unique.
Which is so unique.
It's really good.
So good also.
Yeah.
Like the smell, 10 out of 10. But we have these. So these are, I'm going to describe them the most easiest way I can.
Spam
I'm going to say these are Hawaiian barbecue sushi rolls.
Okay.
I don't
That's what it
think
looks
the
like.
name of them, that's definitely not the name of them. However, that is the similarity in taste that I grasped.
Okay.
So what are they like wrapped in?
A sushi roll.
They're
A sushi roll.
It's
They're
an
like
actual sushi
stuffed.
roll.
Yeah,
too.
they are stuffed and they are not going anywhere. Let me
Oh,
tell you.
there's the
I don't know
spam.
why. I'm gonna
Okay.
put it
There
up
it is. That's thick.
It's a lot of
right
rice.
here.
With
And I'm
cheese.
holding it. It's not falling apart. It's good, I will say. And we had our new reporter, Marsha Augustin, out there with us at the fair. It was her first time at the fair. She's from New York, for
Was
those
she
that don't
having
know.
fun?
She loved
Okay.
these. She loved
Really?
it. She was like, I did not expect this food here. And I was like,
Oh.
first of all, girl, neither did I. But like, welcome to Ohio.
Yeah.
This
Food
is
is
what
like
we
the
do here.
centerpiece thing
The
for
food
the
is our
fair.
jam. So yes,
You
it
have
is.
to go on an empty stomach.
Lots
that's
of
for
lots
sure.
of options for you. If you go, you'll find something you like.
Yeah, and you got to visit sheep too, the swine barn.
Yeah, we were bopping around the whole fair. They've got obviously livestock, huge part of the fair, and those 4-H kids work so hard to keep those animals up and make sure they're ready to go each and every day. They get there just about as early, a little bit later, not quite 2:00 in the morning, but they get there pretty early to work to prepare for the fair. Many of them were already there when I was arriving at 5 a.m. So
what? I'm from like the city of Columbus. My ag education isn't.
my
very,
ag education is also very
robust.
limited. However, but they really do a lot of work
Right.
to
So what
prep
happens
them.
after they show these animals?
Many of them, some keep them. Some
Okay.
of them are stored elsewhere. I can't speak for every single one,
Right.
but some of these children have, formed relationship with these animals over the year
Yes.
to bring them to these fairs and make sure they're behaved, and they are behaved. Some of them, this morning I was like, oh, There's one walking here. They're walking off, no type of harness, leash, anything. They just, train them to walk.
Pull up an image.
I think we
to
have
kind of prep things.
There
And
we go.
when are you done?
Right,
Oh my
so we'll get up
gosh.
early,
They were in
probably
the
around
coats,
this time. You can see
oh
other
my gosh,
exhibitors
and yes,
in the
they
barn
have
right
little
now,
coats
and
on.
feed them so that way they're
I know,
prepared
look
for
at
the day.
that.
And then
See the
throughout,
legs.
we'll keep working on, filling them up so that they look ready for the show ring.
Monday
And then we have to
evening,
do
and they were
things
working
like
on
fit
doing
their
some shearing and whatnot. So it was
It's cute. They
interesting
leave
to
a little
see.
fur around the hooves.
Yeah.
They got to make sure they look their best for the fair, Bryn.
I love it. They
Leg
really
warmers.
do. Well, hey, if you have any information about the Ohio State Fair, it's really easy. You can just text this number right here at your screen. It's 614-460-3345. And once you text that number, it will just send a long list of information about everything you need to know.
Yes, runs till August 9th, so you have plenty of time to head out.
Plenty of time. Okay, Amy, because you were out there, what is the one thing people have to do this year?
I would say check out the new merry-go-round.
Yeah.
The new merry-go-round. It looks really, really cool.
The campus will actually take a wheelchair. You can actually fasten a wheelchair in here. It's the Woodland Gardens.
Such a cool
And a
building,
woodland, and so you see all the woodland creatures here. All of them, the birds, everything, the flowers, the deer, all of them. It's going to be painted, but I personally think it looks beautiful in its natural wood.
Being a carpenter's daughter, you would think that.
Right, and but I think that when you see this, you realize the work of carving these out. That all these are wooden, so it makes you understand that all of them are wooden. How beautiful it is.
That is going to be a
There's
seat
no
everyone
question
wants.
that
I know. I already want it. So again, text this number 614-460-3345 and you'll get all the latest information. Well, that does it for us on The Big Picture today. Thank you all for being here.
Happy Fair Day.
Happy Fair Day.
We'll see you tomorrow.